I try to get the vibes immaculate.
They are.
Not just because I wanted to be crazy good space and stuff, but like, nah, like I really feel like the vibe got to be good.
It does.
In life in general.
But you and I have a good vibe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You really focus on that though. You pay a lot of attention to it. I remember in the beginning of our relationship when you would always say, I got to keep this going. I'm the one that, has to like keep this relationship going. I'm the, like, if you took it like it was all your responsibility and like I just get to like be here and be cute. And I was like, no, that's not true. I too have to contribute to this relationship. Otherwise it will not work.
It's like, I'm just so used to like, I think I said this earlier, but like, dudes, we kind of like make the first move. We like the captain of all this shit.
Yeah.
So when stuff starts going wrong, though there's another person involved, I'm the one that initiated all this. So I kind of feel responsible for shit going left. I feel responsible for like putting this
That's
thing,
a lot of pressure on yourself though. And then what happens if the girly just, turns out to
I think
go off the deep end, do something crazy, not really like you? I don't know.
I think you just take that L. I think that's the synonymous.
Yeah, but
thing.
don't take it as like your L. Like I don't want you to
L,
think,
It's not like I lost her, but I took my L because I put my faith and my trust in the individual, in which I should have noticed sooner would be like a certain way.
That's like,
no, I truly do believe
you're
that
a victim. Though. You know what I mean? Like it gives victim more than it gives fault.
No, but I don't want to look at myself.
We trust
as
the
a
wrong
victim.
people every day.
We do, but I had to initiate that for these type of contexts, right?
And so you're like, I didn't see the signs. It was my fault.
I didn't see the signs. It's my fault.
But I mean, then you could argue like sexual assault. I didn't see the signs.
Wait a minute.
It was my fault.
Wait a minute. What you mean?
You know what I mean? Like if somebody sexually assaults you, the girlies can be like, oh, well, I didn't see the signs. It was my fault. You see how outrageous that sounds? That's how you sound.
I just think the double standard really applying to this, or at least I want to.
Yes.
I think from
you can have your male double standard.
No, it's not. It's a trueness to it, though.
But I'm saying it's such a sad and negative one. But there's a lot of that. If you believe it's true, then I will give it to you because I'm not a man. I don't have your experience.
Check this out, like, because I can agree with you on the mindset, on the thought process, on like the actions that, like that follow from, thinking like that, and why you shouldn't. But there's a reason why double standards exist, is because we're you're a woman and I'm a man, and the way that we do the same things will ultimately look different.
Double standards do exist. So I'm just saying that's sad.
So for me to be like, yeah, I'm a victim, like, yeah, she was bad, I did that, one, I wouldn't be acknowledging those faults and that I actually carried out in that. I couldn't learn from that. And two, because I initiated this sort of connection and I kind of took the first step, I have to be the one to like navigate it, because this was my idea. You went along.
Well, what if she hit on you? Is that possible?
That is possible.
Does that like change the dynamic in the whole relationship now?
Like honestly, girls think if a girl hit on you, that would be the greatest thing, right? But for real, that is almost like a unicorn, because most girls not going to approach us.
Yeah.
The most a girl gonna do to approach you is kind of like put herself in your way.
Is look at you real long.
Or that. But
and bat her eyelashes.
Like dudes, a lot of dudes don't even go off of that no more. Like sometimes.
What do they go off of?
Because you got to think about how like things have changed. Like dudes, your average dude. I'm talking about your average dude that ain't really cool with women or really good, man. They got the Me Too shit. They got that creep shit, how girls just be like, ugh, get away from me type shit.
It really does just make things harder for men, because girlies be making fun of men on the internet.
Just
he gave me the ick because he, grabbed his drink with his pinky up. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
He ordered a Cosmopolitan.
He took me to Cheesecake Factory. Oh, no.
Hey, look.
I was so offended. I was so offended when I heard that, because Cheesecake Factory is one of my favorite restaurants, that I was like, so you're telling me I'm cheap and I'm just
This is my
shit.
take on this. No, here's
That's terrible.
Here's my real take on that, for real. I do believe that there are good women that are of that caliber, that have a lot of money and resources. Good women, just like yourself, just have more things that that's not her thing, right? And here's my thing. If a girl lets you know...
If you're on that level, sure. But if you're on that level, you won't be complaining about it on the internet. Like, Beyonce don't go complaining about stuff Jay-Z does on the internet. Like, if you got money. Cardi B's not like, oh my gosh, she took me to Cheesecake.
Like, I'm speaking about a specific type of woman that might not apply to, like, in a general sense, but if a woman kind of lets you know her lifestyle, you see what she has, you see what she's built for herself, and you can notice these things. Like, it's not like you assume.
Yeah.
Like, and she take care of herself too. That's another big thing.
Exactly.
Not just look good, but take care of herself.
And a guy that's, going for a girl like that, for a girl that you can kind of see it. Truly.
Yeah,
like, you can see it on a woman when it's like, oh, like, you have money. Like, you can see it from the shoes that they wear, from the clothes that they wear, from the way that they carry themselves.
Right.
As opposed to somebody that's just playing dress up. Wearing dress up in your most expensive outfit. You're not fooling anyone, babe. We see you.
Like,
we see you.
And it's real crazy, too, because, like, people be getting fooled for real. Girls and guys be getting fooled by the image of the look from the person, man. Like, if you look like you put your fit together, or you look like something, it is a whole imagination behind that, like what it might be to be around you, with you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody, guys and girls, that like do that on a certain plateau, on a certain level. But the thing is, man, like, it makes it harder to differentiate who's really about that, behind like their image and their lifestyle true to that, versus like the imitations, because imitation is the highest form of flattery. Everybody's flattered when you look good and somebody's trying to look like you. You feel me?
Which is, I think, very interesting that you would say that, because here, I mean, I feel like the street fashion is basically just like hood robber fashion. I don't even know how to describe that.
She's not from an urban area. She's from the burbs. So give her some grace if y'all hear and it's like, what the fuck is she talking about? She's like, hold up.
No, but like, y'all dressed like robbers, like in the ski mask and like the all black, and like, you look like you about to go, like, you think that, ooh, I'm dressing. Nigga, you look like you about to rob me. Don't walk up to me with a ski mask on talking about, what's up, shorty? I think I'm about to be robbed. I don't think that, like, there's no way that you're just out here living life like that. Mind you, I'm also from SoCal, so I'm not used to seeing ski masks in general, like, even when it's cold. Like, I realize now, being out here, that, okay, sometimes in the winter, genuinely, your face is cold. And if you have a long walk, you should probably wear a ski mask. Like, truly.
I mean,
but
for real.
Most of these niggas for real is not wearing it on some, now, so it's super cold.
It was like back in the day in DC, niggas had the turbans. Like, they had the Palestine turbans. I had one. It was like a black and one. Niggas used to wrap it up and do all type of shit. Like, it's certain things, like, you feel me? Like, when it comes to this city and my city for real, we're fashion forward in our own way. We don't really adhere to what other cities really like. I can start naming some brands, you won't know them, but niggas like Hellstar, the Amiri Trend, the Balenciaga joint's crazy now. You feel me? And there's nothing wrong with none of that shit. You know, if you rocking it, you rocking it. You got it, you got it. There really ain't nothing wrong with it. But we always been fashion forward. But the young niggas, for real, I would say it's really the young niggas, man. Like, I don't really see too many niggas my age and up really just on the daily put on the ski mask for real, man.
That is true.
That's
I will say
shit.
that it's majority like probably 24 and under.
I almost say like, all right, 24. All right, I give it 20.
What, you think less like 20 and under?
Yeah, I really do, because I don't really think after a certain point, unless you, and that's the thing, unless you really out here, man.
Unless you really
we don't even speak on that type of stuff, but if you really in that lifestyle for real, I can see it. Like,
but
you know
I was just saying, like,
street.
I was just saying, like, street fashion in general. Like, when niggas like go out to the club, sometimes it's like you also like you put on your best fit, and your best fit included a scully. What the fuck?
Hey, I ain't gonna knock nobody. I ain't gonna knock nobody's choices, man. For real. Like, I'm for real. Because look at me. Like, somebody can say that.
You're telling me that
hats and shit all day. Somebody can say that about my motherfucking hats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm like, you're telling me your best fit includes you not showing your face?
All right, now you got it. All right, you got it.
Why would I talk to you anyway? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Because I would be like, you think that you look your best right now, and you're not showing me what you look like. So that's crazy.
Y'all hear this, man? Y'all don't know. Y'all know somebody from around here. Y'all know somebody not. I'm gonna just say it. Somebody that's not. They from knew this that area, from my voice. Somebody that's not from this area, y'all. DMV. Y'all might want to recognize real quick and adapt. You know what I'm saying, brothers? All right, that's
You
it.
don't have to adapt for
No,
me.
for real. I'm talking
Don't
about the
worry
brothers.
about
I'm
me.
talking about girlies that are from the
Oh.
suburbs that are
That
not from the
move
here. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying.
That'll scare them away.
Exactly. Just like you got to learn how to, lead
But
that
that's
shit
if you
behind.
want a girl from the burbs. Like a lot of these niggas
But I'm saying niggas
probably
don't know
want a girl
unless
that like
you-
understands already.
I believe this, right?
Go on.
Unless you frequent the same spaces, you see the same type, that's what you're going for. But if you
Yeah.
like women, you gonna try your hand. You don't know where she from until she opened her mouth and you see her mannerisms and shit a little bit.
Ooh, that's true. You would
know
kind of
what I'm
have to
saying?
hear her speak, maybe,
Yeah.
or like see the way that she's moving.
Yeah.
But that just involves like paying attention prior to approaching a woman, which you should,
Man.
because there are a few things to check for. You know, check if
All right,
there's a
check.
ring, check if there's a nigga around her that just went to go get her a drink.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
check
Yeah.
surroundings. Like,
Yeah.
is this the appropriate space for me to approach this woman? You know, like, are we at a funeral? Maybe not. Are we in church? You
Are
know,
we in
maybe wait till we
church?
get to the parking lot. Like, you know, don't just be like, ooh, girl, pretty.
I
Take
mean,
a
I feel like
second.
dudes gotta be like that. You gotta make the first move, be confident.
Yeah,
in what you do,
but
right?
like, look, once again,
I'm
we're
not saying
checking.
being no
We're
dumbass,
checking.
being no brute, right? I'm not saying being no dumbass or brute, but I feel like because like we kind of gotta do that first thing, you gotta just think like, all right, if I'm walking up to you, you gotta expect good things. You don't expect to come out, I'm gonna get her number. No, you don't do that. You just expect this shit gonna go good. She gonna fuck with me.
Really?
At least feel that about yourself, for real, for real.
Well, I guess you kind of have to have that confidence before you go do it. Because
That's
if
what I'm saying.
you're already thinking, man, she's not gonna like me, why
Man,
would
you
you
gonna be
walk
up
over?
in that joint stuttering. I seen dudes can't even look her in the eye and shit. And when I was younger, I used to be like that too, so I can kind of attest to that for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially people that know me, man. Y'all know this shit is a development over time. I got better with time. When I was younger, I was not better. Hell nah, for real. I had my couple wins and I took hella L's. I feel like that's your
Then you
average.
learned your Riz,
Nah,
as the
I don't even
kiddies
like.
call
I
it.
don't even like that fucking word, Riz.
I don't either. It's so
Let me
gross.
tell you.
The Riz and Glizzy, I hate it. I'm like, why does Gen Z add Z's to everything?
Glizzy,
like, we get it.
That was our shit. The
Oh.
internet stole that shit.
Sorry,
I swear to God.
I didn't hear it until Gen Z started
Man,
nonstop.
that
saying
was
it.
a word that you will only hear here. Like, seriously.
East Coast or DMV?
DMV, not even East
Oh.
Coast. DMV. I don't know when the fuck everybody started taking that shit. I remember a long time ago. It was like 2011, 2012.
That's a bold claim
No, I'll
to be
I'll
like,
make that
we
claim.
started it.
Because I swear to
Because
God,
somebody
anybody
from Atlanta might be like, or
I love
somewhere.
you, Atlanta. I love
Philly,
your city. I love Philly. But
New
y'all
York.
did not start that shit. I know how y'all niggas talk, man. I know how New York talk, Philly talk, Atlanta talk, Louisiana. I know where y'all niggas from other places and spaces sound like. That ain't in y'all vocabulary. There was a joke because Glizzy is a grown man or dingling. So it was a joke for a hot dog and shit.
Yeah.
So when a man be like, man, you eating that grown man, you eating a Glizzy? That was the context. So
I just hate that word.
So everybody else that started using it for some other shit, man, I don't know what they're
That's what they're
talking about.
using it for. They're
All right,
using
cool.
it for that.
All right,
I just
cool.
hate that word. It's like, you know how some people hate the word moist? I have no problem
Moist.
with the word moist. I will say
I always laugh at that word.
moist.
Moist.
If you don't like moist, moist.
If you don't like moist, you like dry.
Exactly, which is gross.
Crazy.
But no, yeah, glizzy is one of those words that just makes me like, ugh. Riz. Anything with a double Z. I'm like, why are we
Man.
sizzling?
Sizzling. Let me tell you what's crazy, right? When somebody said charisma, I never thought it was gonna be Riz. Because I'm a nerd, low key. So charisma in video games is a speech.
Chariz.
It's a speech stat. It makes you speak better and do better shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, why the fuck Riz? I'm like, y'all niggas can't just stick to whatever we was using before. I don't even remember what we was
Exactly,
using.
and I think that it's really actually messing up the actual definition of charisma.
Exactly, yo.
Because Riz in their minds means like, oh, he's
Like
like
you said.
smooth and can like talk to girls,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
like,
or
what the
she's
fuck?
smooth and can talk to people. Like, I mean, yes, you kind of have to be charismatic in order to, you know, get other people to like you, but just having charisma is not
Right.
just for attracting the opposite sex or the same sex or whatever the fuck.
Whatever you're into. Different strokes for different folks.
Exactly.
The yolks.
It's
I
not-
got too, the yolks.
For real, it's not just about that. It's also like being charismatic can help you like in a job Being charismatic can help you network. Like, being charismatic can help you, make connections, like, become just bigger, better, badder. It's a genuine good thing to have. For more than just picking up people.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all they worry about anyway.
Yo, so
what
like,
is in the background?
I don't know. I just heard this shit yelling. And I was like, it went from rap to, I don't know what the fuck just happened, yo.
I don't know. It was giving like tribal, like, you know, when they be dancing around the fire on some Shark Bay. Ooh ha ha. Finding Nemo.
Oh my god, yo.
I quote Disney stuff all the time, and sometimes you get it and other times you don't, but it's fine.
That was a time where I remember, but I didn't remember at the same time.
I'll take that. Sometimes it'll go straight over your head. I'm like, he has no idea what I'm talking about. Cool.
Yeah, man. Like, Disney, my peak Disney, and I don't even think that was Disney. That was DreamWorks for real.
It was.
Damn. That's crazy.
It was DreamWorks. You like DreamWorks movies?
They just hit so in the old Disney.
Most boys like
DreamWorks
DreamWorks movies though.
But no,
like I think that's a boy thing. Disney movies were for the girlies, and I mean that's because the girlies spend more money, and so Disney spends more time on the people that make them more money.
But the funny thing, my favorite nonfiction book of all time is Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The author of Through the Looking Glass, before came to my school when I was in elementary school. Yeah, he made like a random appearance and like signed a bunch of the books, and they had the whole school reading the book prior to him coming because we knew he was coming like, you know, a couple months in advance. And that was the first thick book that I finally tried to sit down and read because I wasn't into the Harry Potters and the Twilights and stuff. Or the Divergents or any of the, you know, dystopian. Well, no, Harry Potter is not dystopian, but Hunger Games and stuff like that. Hunger Games and Divergent were dystopian when we were just into dystopian teen fiction for some reason.
And that was a weird time to really think about it. Let's talk about that weird time.
It was a weird time, and the funny thing is that like we're starting to see that now. Like people will like film things and they'll be like, "This is District 12, y'all." Like they'll film like hoods in Louisiana, be like, "This is District 12."
That's like they really separated by districts and shit. So you know,
for real, I was like, we genuinely are. It's hilarious to think that the entire United States was just separated into 12 districts. Though it's kind of crazy, because that just doesn't seem like enough. It's the whole U.S. What the heck?
Honestly,
yeah. And at that point, I don't know. I didn't read the books, but I wonder what they thought like the capital was going to be. If the capital would still be like DC, or if they would change it to something else. Because you know the capital wasn't always DC.
Yeah.
Capital used to be New York.
And then they moved.
Because who was it? It was Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison, I think, that like went into a room and discussed it because he wanted to start the national bank or whatever. And they were like, no, we're not going to give you like that power to, you know, like we don't want to have to pay taxes to you and like do all this stuff or whatever. Right. But yeah, they went in there and then Hamilton got enough votes to pass whatever he wanted, and they got to move the capital to the Potomac. Because they were Southerners. Because they were from Virginia. So, which is crazy to me that Virginia is even considered the South for real. Because it's like, south of what? I mean,
Mason-Dixon line.
Exactly. But I'm like, that's pretty high up. Because when I think of South, I think of like Florida. I think of Atlanta. I think of like
Atlantis?
North and South Carolina. Atlantis. I think of like Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. Like that's what I'm thinking when it's giving South, you know. And then it's like, but also Virginia. And I'm like, y'all were pretty high up to be this damn racist. Pretty high up to be this fucking racist.
Well, let me tell you something that's very interesting about Virginia in history. Like during the Civil War, Virginia said we don't want slaves.
Yeah.
And Virginia as a state split that section and made West Virginia.
Oh yeah.
Because they did not fuck with them.
Because nowadays all the white people live in West Virginia. I remember driving over here from Kansas.
Yeah.
And I
stopped in West Virginia to like go to like a McDonald's and like use the bathroom or something. I took Chaco out to take him to use the bathroom, and he was like pottying on like the McDonald's lawn or whatever. And white people were just staring. And then I realized, oh, there's only white people, because I'm used to some white people. Mind you, I had just lived in Kansas for a year and a half. I was used to some white people, but I was like, oh, this is all
I'd have
white
got
people.
back in my motherfucking car.
Got back in the car
come on.
and left.
I'm like, Choco.
Let's go.
Oh, no, I ain't really mean to wake you up,
You woke
bro.
him up. Leave him alone. Not the white
You
beat.
could go back to sleep, dog.
Love you.
But yeah, like, I remember we had our family reunion up in Charlottesville, West Virginia, like around the time where that crazy
Yeah,
riot
Charlottesville too.
Like, no, it was Wintergreen, which is, and Charlottesville was like down the street of Charlotte. I forgot the Charlotte something, but
That was like
doing,
Charlottesville's in South Carolina. I was just like, there's multiple.
There's another Charlotte
Or
town
North
in West
Carolina,
Virginia.
I don't know.
But it was during the time where it was a big Black Lives Matter riot, and the nigga with the pickup truck rolled through. We was like 30 minutes down there. And when I seen that and I realized where we was at, I'm like, I'm not leaving the cabin. I will grab my weed and I will smoke it right here, embracing nature. Because I was like, they was talking about, let's go down the city. I'm like, do you know what's on the news right now? And I had to pull it up. And I'm like, yo,
We're not going down there.
that's not really,
We're not doing that.
that's not cool. Oh, let me tell you something funny about that.
What?
It was like late at night. It was like 2 a.m. I was just vibing. I was just smoking. I heard a creak. I thought it was like my cousin or something walking up. When I hit the J, I look over. It's a baby black bear.
Aww.
Oh, nothing.
Well, if it's black,
it's
black,
a
fight
baby
back.
bear.
Yeah, but okay. Well, that means that there's a parent somewhere nearby. I think. Okay, I get it. I'm here.
So at first I was like, "Oh, you're so cute."
Exactly.
Then I realized how
like,
small
"Aw."
it was. I was like, "Oh,
Your
shit."
mom is nearby.
And here's the fucked up part. Like,
Well, but still, if it's black, fight back. So, like, if you like roar at it, it'll probably run away.
bear and me.
If it's brown, get down.
Look,
if it's black,
it was
fight
dark.
back.
It was dark,
Fair.
and it looked whatever. A bear is a bear.
Because a brown bear will kill you. You try to run. You try to roar at it. But so
Yeah,
you're just supposed to lay down and play dead.
But the craziest part, though, was that I walked up on the balcony part to smoke, and I didn't walk in through that part of the house, so it was locked. I walked in through the bottom part, which was where my room was, and that's where the bear came from. So it was real fun trying to go back down. So I just casually trying to finish smoking, and then I heard some more shuffling. Man, I got the fuck up. I went the other way down the steps.
Yeah.
And by the time by the door, I literally see the big ass bear and the baby running down the steps, and I'm just over here like, I'm like, damn, I didn't even know what to do. I froze, literally.
I mean,
fucking froze.
freezing
I was
is
like-
probably a good idea.
Because I was like,
Maybe they won't notice you.
and that's exactly what happened. Man, they just kept walking. By the time I couldn't see them, I just ran in, closed the door, and then they came back. So, like, at the damn joint, I just seen them walking by. The little bear hit the,
Hello, human.
and then you see the big bear hit the. I was like, and then the bear just kind of hit the.
I was like, are you a threat? Nah.
Then it hit at the window. I was like this, and I hit put the paw up, and it was like, oh, and then put the paw down. It just kind of walked off and shit, and I was just
Good.
like, but no, I was so scared. That was the first time I saw a bear in real life, not at the zoo or some shit. Was just chilling, thugging in his natural habitat or some shit, yo. Wildest shit in the world, man. West Virginia, the air was clear. It was crisp. It was actually really nice to be up there. I just don't like the wildlife in the mountains, man. Driving up that winding road and shit. I looked over. I'm like, oh hell no, man.
Oh, up and down the windy roads.
Nah, dog.
I remember when I was driving over here, like through West Virginia, like I think we stopped in Philly.
Yeah.
And then it was like kind of snowing in like West Virginia, or it was kind of snowing in Philly, and then we got into West Virginia and it wasn't snowing that day, and then got to Maryland and it was snowing that day. It was also very annoying coming from west to east and going through that side of Maryland.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, why did that make the state feel so long? And you know, it was the last like couple hours of a like 20-hour drive, so I was just so ready for it to be over.
You drove 20 hours straight?
No.
sorry.
Stopped like 3 times. Yeah.
But you didn't go to sleep like in the hotel, motel?
Yeah, no, we did. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
We stopped like 3 times. Like I think in St. Louis, Missouri was the first one. The second one was somewhere in Ohio, and then the last one was in Philly. And then drove from Philly to here. Yeah.
You like driving long distances.
I mean, I just like
I like
moving.
bullshit.
Moving
Bullshit.
around.
Leaving this area for the first time, for college at least, man, I was like, damn, I'm not living in this area no more. I am out here. I'm like, hello, Delaware. And I was like, hello, white people. Because
More white people than you were used to.
No, I was one of those fortunate kids, right? Because in middle school, I went all the way up northwest for middle school in Dill. And that's the first time I was in school with like just everybody. It just looked like a little Degrassi fucking film when you think about it.
That's what schools are supposed to look like.
That's what I really think.
Ideally,
you know? Yeah.
Ideally, it's supposed to be a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
Degrassi definitely had a rather small portion of black people, but
But you know what I meant. Like,
but yes,
that
like
diversity.
everybody had the diversity, and that's what I think. That's what I think America is supposed to look like. Except that was filmed in Canada, so shout out to Canada.
Hey, Canada with your diversity.
I mean, maybe the show is completely fake, and like Canada's not that
is.
diverse,
Maybe
but
Canada,
hopefully it is.
I mean, it's part of the North America, not the U.S. North America.
North America.
And if you're North American Canadian, haha, I got your asses. Then that means you believe in separation. Let me stop.
Lord Jesus.
I mean, look at it. We separate from them. We separate from down there. So, it just kind of fits.
We were colonized by different people.
True.
They were mainly colonized by France.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And, we were, I won't say colonized, actually. That was the wrong word for that. But, like, you know what I mean. The immigrants that moved over here.
They claimed that space.
Claimed it as their own.
Claimed the space.
Those motherfuckers.
Right. Those motherfuckers. Hey y'all, I'm gonna go on a little weed spill real quick because I'm a smoker. I'm not a big drinker, but I smoke. I smoke a lot. You can ask her. She's like, sometimes she be like, "What the fuck? How?"
Far too much. I'm not gonna say too much. There's really no such thing as too much.
All right, maybe it's an excess.
There is such thing as too much, but he's not too much. He doesn't like. You don't like. Some people like smoke first thing in the morning. And have to before they go to sleep. You don't do that.
I do smoke like in the morning.
You smoke in the morning, but not when you have to go to work.
Oh hell no. I really believe y'all. Like you're not supposed.
You're not supposed to stop. Like stop being high at work, please. Please.
No, she ain't a smoker. She ain't got the edibles on lock.
I'm an edible girly, but please stop smoking. Please stop smoking before you go to work.
No, like
y'all can get fired for that. Like I just want y'all to succeed.
Look,
I want better for y'all.
Look, you gotta be a responsible smoker if you want. If you in a
exactly,
job space
being
where
a
you're making
responsible
money
smoker means not being high.
No, you can be high. You just gotta know how to function when you're high. Because I've been high at work a couple of times.
Stop.
But no, I don't make that a habit though. Hold up now. Sometimes I just be like, fuck it.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. There are some people that genuinely do smoke too much, and they smoke before they go to work like every single day on some like, I have to have my J, otherwise like I'm not gonna be good. Like, the same people, that are addicted to coffee.
Oh shit.
They'll be like, I have to have my morning coffee, otherwise I will be insane.
I think
anybody like that is in and of itself an addiction. Yeah. If you need anything other than oxygen, food, and water, it's giving addiction.
Oh, come on.
Because you can live without any of those things. Like, you can live without coffee. You can live without weed. Like, that is possible. But if you don't think you can, then we might be addicted to that. And some people would argue sex, but it's like, you don't need sex. Like, you will survive without it.
Yes, you will survive.
You will survive without it. You will not die.
Nature's gifts
you
that
will
we
not
have been
die.
granted.
Yes, absolutely.
You will die.
We literally just said that
you don't have to be addicted, but you will die.
You're not gonna die.
Hey, I believe you're gonna die. Even if you alive, you
What
still
about
dead.
what about the monks and the nuns?
They're alive, but they're dead. As far as I'm concerned, they're alive, but they're dead. Don't care.
They said they're dead on the inside.
They're so spiritual that they're dead in every other way. Like
they're not living life.
They're not living life, but they're living the spiritual practices and guidances of whatever.
They're just like really, I think. Well, nuns anyway. I think are just really eager to like make it to the heaven. So they're just like really eager to make it to that next step. Almost eager for death in a way, which is like kind of crazy when you think about it. Because you're just eager to go to heaven.
I mean, isn't that everybody's whole precipice? Just like
yeah, but it's like you're not supposed to be eager to go to. You're not supposed to be eager to dying.
You not say, all right, they're not eager to dying, but if you're eager to go to heaven, you're eager to die.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like one equals the other, and so you like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get to heaven. So you're not living life for real. Like you don't like it here. Is what you're telling me. It's like you're like, I just need to. And don't get me wrong, some people will be like, oh well, of course I don't like it here. There's death, there's famine, there's like bad stuff here. And I'm like, yeah, but there's also a lot of good stuff. And if you play your cards right, you get to enjoy the good stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be like a bunch of money and like now you get to enjoy life on a yacht or something. But like you get to enjoy basic things like love and like being understood and laughing and sex.
Okay.
Like you get to.
Okay.
There are like pockets of like this life that we should really appreciate, and I feel like people that are just eager to get to the next step, eager to like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to like move on from this life, is like like you're not appreciating the things, you know?
Yeah.
Because you're the one that tells me all the time. You're like, life, you only get one of these. Like, you die at the end of this. And we don't even know what the death looks like. You die at the end of it.
Yeah, you're right. Nah, I do. Yeah, nah, for
You
real,
don't get another chance. It's just this one.
You just get this one. Unless you had one of them circumstances like, oh, heart attack. Oh, I'm back. You got a second chance.
Well, I guess some people believe that there are multiple lives, reincarnation and all that. We don't.
Hey, check this out, y'all. Check this out. If you believe in reincarnation, you might believe.
Don't say anything crazy. Don't offend people. No.
I was about to say this. I'm not going to offend nobody. Anybody from the dirt, from the graveyard that you plotted, came back to tell you how it was, young?
Well, no. Like you can't remember.
No, I'm not talking about reincarnation.
Like,
that's why I said I left reincarnation. I said, has anybody that's been plotted in the dirt came back and told you how their experience was in the dirt?
Some people.
On the other side. Huh?
Some people will say, like, they'll be like, oh, like, my heart wasn't beating for 10 minutes. I was, like, technically dead, but then I came back to life. And they'll be like, I met Jesus in heaven, and he told me that, you know what I mean? I gotta
look something up real quick. Hold up.
People really do that. People really feel like they died, they went to heaven and talked to God and came back. They even do it in, like, the TV shows and stuff. Like, people will die and then have, like, a little near-death experience where they, like, you know, talk to their past selves and see what life would look like if they passed away and how people would move on some like a not Nightmare Before Christmas.
So
like what is that one movie where there's like the Scrooge and then he like visits Christmas present and past and future?
I don't know. Some Christmas. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like it gives that vibes. Like some people said they have those experiences.
Check this out. I had to Google this. So there's some studies that suggest that the brain will remain active after death up from a period from 5 to 10 minutes, right? So like, if your brain is still active, that means you can still dream, conscious. Your bodies might not be functioning. Yeah,
you're like technically dead because your heart isn't beating, but your brain is still active. Yeah.
Exactly. So imagine what your brain's conceptualizing in those moments, right?
Well, people say their entire life flashes before their eyes and stuff.
Shit, I don't want to.
Well, that's not a flash. Well, at 10 minutes, what would your brain be able to come up with in 10 minutes?
The most craziest, insane shit known to man. Because if you got 10 minutes and you know you about to fade away, your brain knows that. It's like we're talking. This is our brain, right? Your brain knows that shit. Imagine what the fuck that shit gonna make.
Oh goodness!
You only got 10 minutes. and you got a life of time of experiences, what you led, what you believe, all that shit going on. Like, that's a rhythm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, man, people come back, I seen Jesus. Motherfucker, you just conjured up every goddamn thing you know the man real quick. Because your ass was about to go. You was about to go, bro. Sis. Nah, that's what I believe, man. It's not even morbid, but you got to really think about some shit like that, though, for real.
You know what I just thought about?
What?
I was like, somebody gonna be mad that you said bro and sis and not they and them.
And they and them. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I ain't mean it like that, y'all. I keep forgetting, man. Yeah. Man, woman, they, them, them.
First off, no.
What, yo?
No, I'm not doing that.
You're not doing what?
I'm not doing that.
Doing what?
I'm not doing that, they, them. Like, I'm not gonna give you a shout out. If you, like, talk to me and you're like, hey, I would really appreciate it if you address me as this, and I give a fuck about who you are, then sure, I guess. I'll do it. But like for the general public, for people that I don't know, people that I don't care, I could give a fuck what your pronouns are. I don't even know you. I don't care. I'm gonna call it like I see it, and then if that's wrong, oops.
I'm like, my bad.
I'm not gonna learn it like for the time being. I don't know you.
Like, I'm like, I've never been in that moment where something like that ever happened to me. Like, so I don't even know how that feels.
Some people will like
you know
be like, oh, you misgendered me or whatever, and it's like, I don't even know you. I'm
like, my bad.
What are we talking about? I don't.
I literally just say, my bad. Like, what you want me to do?
I don't even know who you are. How was I supposed to know from just looking at you, glancing at you, and saying, "Oh, excuse me, sir," that I wasn't talking to somebody that identified as a? And I'm tired.
Hey, look,
I'm just tired. So I'm not doing it.
People got the right to their individual thing, right? You just can't you can't force me
You can't force me to go along with it.
I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm not going to go out my way to disrespect anybody.
But you can't hate speech me. You can't put me on TikTok on some like, oh, they're transphobic because they think that, or like so-and-so called me ma'am or sir. Don't do that.
Like, that's not cool, man.
Don't do that. And the craziest part is that, like, you know, I'm not even going to play because I'm a Blair White fan, and a lot of trans people won't like that, so.
People
I'll say, though, I am a Blair White fan, and anybody that doesn't like that, I don't really care. Blair is doing the thing. Shout out. Love you.
Y'all see what I be dealing with?
What? Hey, yo, I don't care who's mad at that. Like, what?
Yeah.
Do I agree with every single thing that she says? No, because I'm my own person. But she's also, like, weirdly loves Trump. Well, like, which is, like, a lot for me. Because, as I've been saying, if you really like Trump, or you really like Kamala, I'm gonna need you to really take a look in the mirror.
Oh, God.
Like, please. I understand that we have to choose which one's better and vote for that one, and I think that we should. That is our right as Americans. We're supposed to do that. Let's do that. However, neither one of them is great. It's the best that the country could do. It's just not. They are not our country's best. And they're about to represent us in front of the entire world. Oh my gosh. The other countries just laugh at us. I know it.
Now the other countries looking like, damn, this shit is crazy. Because like to be here in this moment in space when this is actually transpiring, we're of age to kind of understand what is really happening.
We are coming of age in such a like, I was gonna say crazy time, but like also it's like pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Like we were able to say that we were there for like the turn of the century, 9/11, you know,
Afghanistan.
Yeah, all the stuff. And then COVID also, and then the Trump presidency. Like we were able to vote for the first Trump presidency. Like that is interesting. I'm sad that I never got to vote for Obama. You know, I wish I was a little older. Wish I got that.
But we supported though.
That chance.
But we supported though. At the end of the day, we supported. You know
our first time to vote was Trump and Biden.
Yeah, imagine
or Trump
that
and
shit.
Hillary.
Imagine that
Trump
shit.
and Hillary. I was like, these are our choices. I was so pissed.
Hey, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all.
I voted for Bernie. I was like, gosh dang it, he's old and gray, but he would do better than the rest of them.
I voted for Bernie like a motherfucker. I said,
feel the burn, baby. Feel the burn.
Because it was the first time I actually heard somebody, regardless of how old he was, speak to all of us.
And actually, care.
But
and
it sounded like,
but
but at the end of the day, when I realized why he didn't win, I'm like, damn, I look back and I was still supportive. But
they
I'm
wasn't going to let him win.
No, not even that. I wasn't even looking at the thing. I'm like, don't you know when somebody tells you everything they're going to do and it sounds so good? Don't you think it's very...
No, I don't even think it's that. I think he really would have done all that shit because I know that the people voted for Bernie, but the Democratic Party voted for Hillary, which was rude.
Yeah.
We wanted Bernie, and y'all wanted Hillary, and then Hillary lost, and then so whose fault is that? Freaking Democratic Party, y'all get on my nerves. So, we voted for Bernie because I really think he would have done that because he even marched. He used to march back in the day for civil rights. What? Nah. Joe Biden was racist. Joe Biden was racist, and we voted for him to be president. And Bernie Sanders was marching for black people in the 60s and 70s, and we didn't vote for him. And Democratic Party, I will never forgive you for that. Y'all are racist, even if you say that you're not, because what the hell? And I know you voted for Obama, and blah. No, it still does not change the fact that y'all did not listen to us, and y'all gave us Hillary instead of Bernie.
I was about to ask you a question now. What if the presidential candidacy came down to these choices instead for some weird...
So what choices?
What if it was Kamala or Hillary? And for some reason, for some circumstance. What would you pick in that shit? That would be a hell of a crazy thing.
I would move. I would be like, I need to get out of the U.S. I would be like, babe, are you coming with me or not? Because we gotta go. We gotta go.
I've been scratching my head at that ballot.
We gotta go.
For a good 10 minutes. I've been like, what the fuck do I do here?
We gotta go.
People gonna look at me like, why wouldn't you vote for Kamala? Hey, y'all, there's a reason why. There's a reason why I say everything. I'm a person. I got my own views, bruh. But when you do background knowledge on everything, and I really mean everything, not just one side. I mean the other side too.
Lord Jesus.
It look real conflated. You gonna end up looking like me. You gonna look rubbing your chin and shit. What the? He's like, what do I do with this now? Is there? It's like you picking the lesser of the two evils at this point.
You really
are, yo. But you gotta really look at this shit, though.
Kamala is the fakest individual. She's so robotic. She's so non-human. She's so, here are my 3 talking points. If it's not about the equity economy or whatever she calls it, if it's not about her growing up as a middle-class kid and her mom in that damn house, if it's not about, it's literally basically always those two. Those are her 2 answers for everything. An opportunity economy, that's what it's called. It's literally opportunity economy or... what is the other one? Middle class kid. That is all she talks about. And then she caters to whatever audience she's in front of. Ooh. When she'll put on her black scent for the black people. And then she put on a little Spanish scent for the Spanish people. And then we'll put on, of course, the white accent for the white people. And I'm like, I don't even know what you actually sound like. I really don't. I have no idea. I'm so confused. And if we do actually sound like that, how we sounded at the debate, why are you placating me in front of black people? Why are you playing on my blackness? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't put on a black accent.
With me.
What's wrong with you?
No. Stop playing with me. No, for real. I think that is just... It was just crazy to look at because even my family, I look at the black women in my family in my life, and then I look at that screen. I'm like, are you representing them? Because I don't think so, man.
Could never.
For real, like I hate to say it looking like that, but I had to really take that look before I even looked any further into her policies or ideas.
Kamala is like 10% black at best.
But check this. I'm not even gonna say this. I'm gonna just say this. This is actually something people could look up, man. Like, wasn't it 2018, 2019? Didn't she run for the first Indian something?
Yeah, it was like 2016. She was always like first Indian this, first Indian that. And it's like, really kind of...
If you were claiming to be the first Indian, now how are you the first black woman? Wait a minute, yo.
Because she recognized that, like, oh, well, like, I have a little bit of black in my ancestry, so let me play off of that because being Indian didn't work. So if I'm black, then, like, there's more black people in the U.S. than Indian people, maybe. I don't know.
But it just that alone, that made me kind of hit my little deep dive moment because everybody telling me what to believe, who to vote for, per usual. Mm-hmm. Like everybody gonna do that to everybody on some level. But how many of y'all actually took 10 minutes? And I ain't even talking about sitting in front of the computer typing all day. Took like 10 minutes just to ask a question, bro, and see where that took you. Because you might look at the info, look at the stuff you're looking at, and be like, oh shit.
Like first off, her opportunity economy. I was watching a YouTube video the other day.
Communism.
Exactly. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and this girlie was explaining, she was like, hi, like, I'm majoring in economics, and, like, here's my explanation of Kamala's plan. And she was like, it's actually really terrible. Like, she was like, she wasn't saying, like, vote for Trump, but she was just like, I think because it's Kamala versus Trump, we're overlooking the fact that Kamala's plan is actually communism. And which is crazy because we've literally fought world wars against communism. That's insane that now here we are. But it's like there's just so many things. With the abortion ban and the video that I watched today.
Hey y'all, I can't even get into abortion ban. I feel like every woman should have the right to abortion, use it or not. You feel me? That's it.
He believes that.
So that's it.
It's not that I don't believe in abortion. It's not that I believe abortion should be banned or whatever. I'm not like super duper pro-life. Let's relax. But I do think that abortion should be limited to, the incest, the rape, the, like life of the mother, and should also be limited to only being in the first trimester, first maybe half a second, like 20 weeks or less. If you've been walking around with this baby for 21 plus weeks and all of a sudden now you're like, okay, it's actually getting time, I don't think I can handle it, give it to someone else. That is always an option. Yeah. I just want to remind people that adoption is an option, and there are families out there that are on literal waiting lists trying to adopt a newborn baby. You could give it to them. Some people will sell. It's like a buying thing. People buy babies. You know that? Like, it's not even just like you have to give it up. Like, some like rich couples will buy babies, especially if they're like, certain like ethnicities or whatever. I don't know why, but like people are like that. And there's other options. I just feel like, why are we not picking those other
Why are we not picking other options?
Exactly. And like if it's 21 plus weeks and honestly, you were in that situation and you're like, well, me and my man broke up and now I don't want to have this baby. It's like,
you can speak to this. I don't even know I couldn't even imagine what I would do because look, I can't for real. I can't even speak to that one for real.
If I was like in a very destitute situation and I felt like I had nothing left, I wouldn't wait till 21 weeks to get rid of it. Because if you're telling me that your situation is so down bad that you can't handle a baby, you didn't know that 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. You just found out today at 24 weeks, 27 weeks, 34 weeks that, I don't think I can afford it. What? I'm sorry. What? That doesn't make any sense. Unless something traumatic happened in your life, maybe like your baby daddy didn't leave you until the 8th month or whatever. But girly pop, if that man just up and left, I'm sure there were signs. Like there's just so much. I just,
I can't even say
I feel like there's so many other options after that time period. So it's not that I don't like abortion.
I think people just really like sex. They don't. Protection gets out the question because people really like sex.
And that's insane.
And it sounds crazy for me to make that statement, but I really do believe with the amount of kids will just be popping out. Yeah, we all know sex feel better without that, but sex bring kids unless you on birth control, and then that's up to shorty. That's up to the girl. You know what I mean? Like you can say what you want. If you don't want kids, let her know that you rather do on birth control. Either she gonna fuck with you or she not. But
and if she doesn't, then don't.
and if you still gonna risk it, bro, that's really both of y'all fault.
Absolutely.
Real, both of y'all fault.
Absolutely, both of their faults.
Like kids are a blessing and all that shit, but for real, we already know what happens. But
we're talking about abortions right now, and that's what I'm saying.
But,
I was talking to my mom about the morning after pill because I did look up like how many states had like banned abortion, even in the cases of rape and incest.
Yeah.
And there are some states that have, banned it, even in the case of rape or incest, which I think is a way too fucking much. But like even in those states, you know what is legal? Morning after pills, everyone. Those are not illegal. No one is taking away your morning after pills. So if something happens,
get that shit down to a T.
You got 3 days to run your ass over. I can only imagine if I was just sexually assaulted and I didn't know if that man came in me or not. The first thing I'm doing, I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to get a rape kit because it's 2024 and I know that that's a thing. And I'm going to get a morning after pill. I'm going to have them give me a morning after pill. They'll probably give it to me for free too. Like it's not even, like, are you kidding me? Or at least they'll give me a coupon and be like, here, go to the nearest Walgreens. The first time I got a morning after pill, there was a coupon. 25% off. Like, what are we talking about? Like, and it's only like $50. Y'all are being a little too cheap for me. I'm gonna need you to, like, there were just so many. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to abortion, there's so many other options.
That is exactly why I said I could not speak to this.
So many other options, and plus, like I said, after 20 plus weeks. You're just playing with a life at that point. Like you're just throwing a life away at that point. And it's like, what's the?
But that's why I spoke about the protection and the lead up to even get to the point of abortion. That's what my whole spiel started there, because it's like at the end of the line, before we even get to the point of having to make these hard decisions, like we like sex, people gonna have sex. But for real, bro, like, do you want kids? For real, sis, do you want kids?
If it was
if
it was just we had sex because we like sex, and then a baby happened, that would be literally our fault. So, like, what if we?
But I think that's mostly the case, because when the parents separate and they go their other ways, you got baby mom, baby daddy, whatever the fuck the case. Isn't that what's happening? Like,
exactly, but I'm like in that
and
moment.
And they make the best of it, and that's where the parents shine. But even still,
But some people are not choosing to make the best of it. They're choosing to just go get abortions instead, which is wild, crazy. And also, once again, if y'all two didn't want a kid, as soon as she found out she was pregnant, why didn't y'all go get the abortion? Is it because we thought maybe this could work, and then later we realized it can't? And it's like, once again, if money was the issue,
is it money?
We knew. If money was the issue, we would have known that as soon as you found out you were pregnant at however many weeks you can find that out. I don't even know, because I've never been in that situation, because I've never put myself in that situation, because why would I? Why would you? Do you not care about your vagina? I care about mine. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I'm just saying. Babies rip those things in half every day. And y'all just voluntarily, and when they go to clear whatever after you have an abortion, when they go to clear the baby out and stuff, complications like that happen all the time, where they accidentally leave a piece and then it's an infection, and then your body and gets all infected, and then you have to have surgery. There's just some abortions are botched abortions, and that person can never have kids again. There's just so much that I'm you are why are you not more careful with your own vagina? Do you not know how volatile that thing is?
I can't even get on me. It's the girly saying it. Let me stop.
You don't know how volatile that thing is? Gentle. Man. Just like you tell men, gentle. Yourself, you, gentle.
Yeah, man. Nobody, this sex is just promoted for real. Everything is something sexy. It's not even have to be sexy, but it has an innuendo to it, from music to media, commercials, cartoons. That shit everywhere. I think that's why I said
Sex
I think,
is everywhere.
But I think this is a natural thing. But now the way it's marketed to us, I think
It's bad.
it gets perverted after a certain point. Not saying it's supposed to be some pure, holier than thou type of thing, but it does.
Propaganda, perversion.
But no, I really do believe on a level, because it's natural, you let it happen, right? So you keep putting it in our face, you gonna make somebody want what naturally will happen when you get it.
Exactly.
When you try to get it, whatever the case
and
may be.
that's
And then
like,
you want that. It's like it's ingrained slowly type
That's
shit. It's
some
like,
people's
man,
argument. They feel like the media is trying to make people more like sex craved.
low key. I think low
And
key.
it kind of gives that.
Because the porn industry is so fucking.
That's what I'm
big and
saying.
shit.
Back in
You
the
think
day,
about it,
you
guys?
used to have to pay-per-view. You used to have to pay for view. Like you know what I mean? As a kid, I thought it was pay-per-view.
Nah, check this out.
Like
back in the
paper?
day, they have the same porn sites from way back in the day when the internet first came out. Shit.
Yeah, but you had to pay
No,
for
shit.
those. Like
Oh, shit. I
nowadays,
didn't know that.
porn. Nowadays,
Yeah.
porn. You can get porn on Twitter.
Yeah.
You don't
For
even
free.
have to go to Pornhub.
For free.
You can get porn on Twitter.
That shit just
You can
gonna
get
pop
porn
up
on
your feed.
Pornhub, and you don't have to log in. There, you don't have to have an account for
In
that.
Virginia, you gotta verify your. I think certain porn sites in
Really?
Virginia, Texas, or one of the states ban porn.
I don't think
porn
you
out.
have that. I don't think the states can do that because isn't that
Nah,
against our like First Amendment rights
I
or
think it's
rights
some,
free
I
press or
forgot the
something?
actual policy change where certain states were banning porn sites straight up. And I thought that shit was cool because at the end of
Yeah,
the day,
they can
though,
ban some, I guess, if they feel like they're really terrible.
Here's my
but
thing.
should the government be allowed to ban websites? I don't know if I like that.
fundamentally,
I don't like that.
Fundamentally, I don't think so. I don't believe so. Me personally.
I don't like that.
But in this case, like, if you're gonna ban some shit that's really fucking people up in the long run, then
Yeah.
go ahead, ban
But
that
you
shit.
could also, but if you're banning something,
But
then
you-
you could also ban something
That's
that's,
what I'm
good,
saying. That's why I
and we
said
wouldn't know.
That's why I said fundamentally.
Exactly, and I
No.
don't trust our government enough to make those decisions for us because whenever they make decisions for us, they tend to be really shitty decisions.
Ooh.
So, you know,
Hey.
like us giving, what did we give today? An additional however many billion dollars
I'm like,
to
what the
another
fuck?
country
Hey.
to fight a war that we're not in.
Are we like? Here's what I always say,
What?
without really knowing the super background on the whole entire conflict. I said, it looks like we're funneling money to make sure that we don't gotta fight, because that's what it's giving. Right
That
now.
really is what it's giving, but
That's what
it's
it's
like,
giving, yo. I'm like, y'all.
but
need
it's
to
like, whose
chill.
money are you getting?
Our goddamn money, because. But here's
And
the
we
thing,
did not
but-
vote for this.
check
We
this
did not
out.
ask for this.
It's a complex thing, because it's not only our money, but since we eliminated the gold standard and there's no stocks and bonds on our money, it's paper. So they're
Exactly.
printing out money. They're creating
that we
debt.
don't have.
Low key.
And you're like
Yeah,
making our
no.
financial situation so much worse than it needs,
It's
than it
not even
already is. We're already in trillions of dollars of debt, and y'all are just making it worse. Y'all are just making it worse.
But it's like set up like that. It's not even just now though. Check this out though. It's not even just now. It's been like that ever since back then. So
Was the
reason
government
why-
really ever here to help us?
Yeah.
Maybe once upon a
Nah,
time it was just here. I mean, even back then it was
But
only
check
here
this
to
out.
help
You could
wealthy white men.
But no,
so
but check this out. You could
has it
argue
ever?
that. You could argue that every place was it designed to help the people? Yes, these places.
It was
are
not designed to help the people. Have people been able to make the system work? Absolutely. But it was not designed. None of this was designed to help
No, that's
us.
the
was it?
thing. It's designed to help the people, because without each other, we couldn't build all of this. So fundamentally, we could. It was designed.
It's designed to only help some people, though.
But that's the thing. When you trace it back, it is only a couple of few truly profiting. But by design, you couldn't have this without people. It's not like you're going to make them, unless you made them your slaves. And all the fucking tyrants in history, they burned a glorious death. That's the crazy part. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was made for the people, but we're people. Like, we're not always going to be good. Like, people going to get power, they're going to power trip. We're people. And that's the fact of not only just then, but life in general and life now.
Yeah.
People are people, and people are truly unpredictable, yo. Unless they standing on what they say they're going to stand on, or you know what they believe in, or whatever the case, that don't stop them from switching, because they're people. So when we
Crazy
see
shit.
instances of evil, you don't just think it's because something is evil. It's like, that's a person, and they could have been influenced by evil and negative things, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the real case in the matter type of thing when it comes to a lot of this stuff. You know, It's like you can't really. Mother Nature, she always winning, man. She always decide. She already decided, just like God. You know, that's what I believe. Those two things, Mother Nature and God, already decided. So it was like, hey.
Now it is what it is.
And it is what it's gonna be. The ism. It's crazy though, for real, when you just really think about it. Like, I always grew up questioning things in general. But I'm the only child, so I had all the time in the world to be by myself.
To question everything.
Not just question, but I had a computer. We grew up with computers.
Yeah.
There's no point in me questioning something when I can just look it up.
But you had to think of the question, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're
like
right.
you were questioning things.
Yeah,
because
right.
I was, a little bit more busy, and so I would just be like, yep. Just kind of move on. I didn't question a lot of things.
No. I just think that every time somebody tells us something, is it true to them or is this truth? And if it is truth, thank you for telling the truth. Is this not not the truth, but your rendition? Well, I appreciate your viewpoint, but if I start believing truth or truth, truth, the truth.
There's no F.
Oof.
Stop.
Oof. Let me stop. The truth.
You're a little DC accent.
Excuse me.
Truth.
Truth.
Why don't y'all like the TH?
I don't know. I can't even explain.
It's always.
I can't explain your accent.
It's always mother.
You don't even have excuse me, mother, brother.
Exactly.
Father.
Like, why don't y'all like TH? Y'all always be skipping
Father,
the TH. Y'all don't like it.
I think.
You're not a fan?
For me, I just innately code switch, and that's just how I've always been because I've been in spaces where I had to.
Yeah.
So when I'm around and I see them and I read the room, of course I'm gonna change up how I talk. But naturally, that's just what I was around. That's what I heard, honestly. Like, truly. It's just like, I don't do it just to be cool. It's just
I'm
like,
sure there's
literally,
probably some actual science or history to, how different regions ended up with different accents.
Oh yeah.
But
so Baltimore, y'all gotta explain to me y'all accent.
How is Baltimore accent and DC accent so different
Hey,
when y'all are not that far?
I love y'all. I love my Baltimore people.
Y'all are not that far away. Why do you sound like you're from different states? You're it's like a 35-minute
all I'm
drive.
gonna say is you just gotta hear the difference. I ain't even gonna point the shit out, but is a difference. God damn it.
There is a difference.
We gonna laugh at each other because there's a difference.
But why?
What you mean why?
You're right here.
Oh,
that's like LA people having a different accent
than Baltimore and walked
people
around
in
Baltimore?
San Bernardino. That doesn't even make any sense.
Have you ever went to Baltimore and actually had a reason to be there and just had to walk around?
No.
And I'm not talking about downtown where there's people. I'm talking about Baltimore. No. You're gonna know immediately. You just talk about sometimes you feel uncomfortable here and shit. And I love Baltimore because y'all know y'all city, and we all know y'all city. You know our city. What? And you're gonna know the difference. You won't know. You ever heard of The Wire? The show The Wire back in the day? You ever just saw how it looked in the background and shit?
I actually never watched it. I'm not gonna lie.
God damn.
I know because I've seen on social media what Baltimore looks like.
Okay then.
And I've driven through, but the only parts that I've driven through is Ellicott City and stuff that. Or I'll drive to BWI.
Yeah, that is not. Yeah. So Baltimore.
I went to the aquarium once.
If you'd have went down the street a little bit, you'd have been like, God damn, that's all it takes.
I went to the aquarium.
She went to the aquarium, y'all.
I went to the aquarium. It's a nice aquarium. It's a really nice aquarium. That's the reason why we went there. I'm a school teacher, and we went on a field trip. And they said that y'all's aquarium is way better than DC, and that DC barely has an aquarium, which they were not wrong. And it's sad. Y'all's zoo kind of sucks. I went.
This is slander. I'm not going to take.
I went a few months ago, and I was severely disappointed on another field trip. And I was like, "Dang, this is it."
I'm not going.
And these animals not even doing nothing. It was just.
This is slander, and I will not.
I guess once you've
this.
been to the San Diego Zoo, everything else just seems like pity.
Well, I haven't been to the San Diego Zoo.
Oh, if I'm going to take you to the San Diego Zoo, and I'm going to take you to the Aquarium of the Pacific, and you're going to be like, "Oh, this is," and I'm going to be like, "Yes, this is what I compare the rest of the country to, because this is where I grew up." And so then it'll help you see why I see things the way that I see things.
because this is what I grew up around. Like, I see that for you because I'm around what you grew up around all the time. So I'm able to be like, this explains why he thinks like that, because this is where he grew up. It makes perfect sense. But you don't get to do that for me because we're not where I grew up. But once I take you there and we go to a few places, you're going to be like, this is why she thinks like this. This is why she thinks everything out here is ghetto and she doesn't want to touch doors at liquor stores because she thinks they're dirty. I don't want to touch the doors at liquor stores because I do think that they're dirty. He touches all the doors.